are you laughing?
Just happy to be here.
Is it the clap? Simona Stanton, welcome to Pivot.
Hi, Yasmin. Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited.
I'm scared.
Scared of what? It's just me.
Of you. Yeah,
me.
that's scary enough.
Microphones, cameras, nothing to be
Sounds
scared
fun.
of.
Let's
really
do it.
good lighting, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But welcome to Pivot. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you.
You are one of those people that I met not too long ago, but you've become quite a staple in my life.
Oh, thank you.
So I met you at Shimi's, which is your business, your baby, I would say. And Shimi's is a yoga studio, mainly. And I just remember seeing you for the first time, walking into Shimi's. I had just finished a class, and you were carrying a newborn in a car seat, and you did not look happy. I mean, of course, you loved your newborn and everything, but you just looked really stressed out. And I was like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? And you were like, my kids just keep getting sick, and I have a newborn, and I have a kid in nursery, and you were honestly just overwhelmed. And I just wanted to give you a hug because I've been there.
You probably did.
I've been there, and it's not easy. But Shimi's is more of a community to me. So why don't you have a little... You can talk to me about that. But what do you feel about Shimi's, your business?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Shimi's is definitely my third baby, and it's a family to me now.
Yeah.
I met some of the most important people in my life at Shimi's. I met you there and all of my other very close friends, and I believe that we created this very strong, beautiful community of people that share one passion, and that is yoga.
Yeah.
And it just brings me so much joy to watch this community grow every day. And yeah, it started all 5 years ago when me and my husband opened Shimi's, and I wanted to create a new concept that combines my two passions, and that is yoga and working out. And so I created a box, the dark room, where you've got the infrared heating panels and special lighting system and loud music and very strong flow and a signature scent that goes through the air at the end of the class. And so when you enter that room, I wanted you to experience it all, to feel everything, you know?
Well, you do. I'm telling you do, because I was not, I don't want to say anti-yoga, but I just couldn't stand it. I tried so hard to get into it. And Shimi's is where I found a love for yoga. And I think it is obviously the place, but the box is so special. It's dark. You have those beautiful lights on the ceiling. It's warm, so you get an incredible sweat. You have the infrared lights. You have everything. And also not just... The music, I think, is key, because you feel alive with this louder, less relaxing, cliche yoga music.
And, you know, it's very different to traditional yoga.
Yeah.
It's, as I said, it's a new concept. It's something where when you enter the room, I wanted you to feel like you get an amazing yoga class, but at the same time, you release stress, you work on your breath work, you get more flexible, but you also sweat, you get stronger, you deal with your stress or any trauma that you're going through, and you leave that room feeling better. You feel like you dedicated those 60 minutes in your day to yourself, and you gave yourself whatever you need from that 60 minutes yoga class right in that moment. And that's why I did it in the first place. You know, I wanted people to feel better, because that's what yoga did to me. It made me feel better.
I think that's Simona's ethos. Like, I think you really like people to feel better, to feel happier, to feel healthier, to feel alive.
Yeah, and it always starts with me. So I like to share things I know about and things that I have personal relationship with, and they influence me.
Yeah.
And because yoga had such a strong influence on my health and my well-being and the way I am, that's why I wanted to share it with others. And that's how it all started, with this passion for yoga.
And how has yoga influenced your physical and mental and spiritual health? Like, obviously you have a passion for it and you enjoy doing it, and you're a very sporty, athletic woman.
Yeah.
But how has it really affected you on an internal level?
Yeah, so I grew up in a very sporty family, and I feel like I went through almost every sport possible, and I love sport. It's a big part of me. And only later in my life, in my 20s, I discovered yoga while I was studying psychology at university. And I just fell in love with the practice, and it became such a strong part of my life. The reason why I love yoga, and it's, again, the type of yoga that we do at Shimi is in the box. That's the yoga I love, because there's so many different types of yoga.
Yes.
And so many times I have people that come to me and they say, oh, I've done yoga class 10 years ago and it was a yin yoga. And now they come to Shimi's and they experience this dynamic yoga in the dark room, which is completely different experience.
Yeah.
And they say, wow, I didn't know that yoga can be like that. And I'm like, yeah, yoga can be so many different things. It's just such a huge thing in life, or
it can be interpreted.
It's a lifestyle.
So
yeah,
definitely.
And so when I do yoga, this type of yoga, it makes me feel everything. And it's usually the answer to anything. If I feel down, if I feel stressed, if I feel tired, or if I feel anxious, I go to a yoga class. Mm-hmm. And I know that no matter how low I am, or if I'm not in the mood, I always know that I'm going to walk out of that room and I'm going to feel better. Mm-hmm. And that's why I do it. You
studied psychology in university and you found yoga while you were studying psychology.
Yes. My mom always did yoga. I've tried a few yoga classes. I didn't really connect with the teacher or with that type of practice at that time. While studying psychology, we were discussing different ways how to deal with, stress and anxiety and trauma.
Which is something you've gone through, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just wanted to dig deeper into it and wanted to find out what's this yoga about. And I started practicing. I did my teacher training. And after finishing the teacher training, I knew that's what I want to do. I knew I want to share this practice and knowledge with others.
Well, that's amazing. And you've created a highly successful business / community / network within Shimi's. And I've experienced that firsthand. Like, it's become my second home. I literally drop off my kids and just drive there, even if I haven't even booked a class.
Yeah,
I just drive there.
This is the beauty. Like, you come and you always meet someone.
Yeah.
And you just go there because you feel safe there. You know that.
I think we need to tell a story. We need to tell a story about our first ski trip and how that happened. Like, I barely knew you.
Yeah.
I'd known you for a couple of months, and then your very close friends all got pregnant and couldn't go on the ski trip with you. And me and Layla my sister were doing a class together or something, and then you came up to us and we were chatting because we did know each other.
You want to go on a ski trip with me?
Like, do you want to go skiing? And I was like, yeah. Who wouldn't want to go skiing?
Yeah.
And it happened so randomly. And I feel this has become a part of who I am now. I just say yes instead of hesitating.
Based on a feeling.
Yeah, just if it feels right,
exactly.
I think you just need to go for it. And that's not actually in my character. It wasn't then, because I was a stressful traveler and I would find it really hard to get on a plane and leave kids and things like that. So you actually helped me get out of that mode and just
I love
go.
that. I also used to be a little bit like you back when I was living in Prague, but now I'm all about it. Like, just go for it. Whatever you feel like, if you feel that the energy is right and you have the right feeling about it, just go for it. Life is too short. Experience it all. Just have fun.
Well, I'm glad we're still friends, because that could have gone really badly.
It was a big test.
But I also fell in love with your mum, because your mum was with us.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And then I brought another friend, Gab, and then,
And it just all happened, This is the magic. I love that.
Exactly. So, okay. What childhood experiences do you feel have shaped you? I know that's going in quite hard with a direct question, following on from yoga.
No,
but do you feel
that's what this podcast is about.
Let's get to the point.
Let's do it. So when I think about it, there were probably two moments in my life.
Are these your pivots?
Yes.
Oh,
these
you're
are
going
my
straight
probably
for the
two pivots
okay.
that were very significant and shaped me the way I am. And so the first one would be going far back when I was 14 and my dad passed away. And, I've got all these girls that message me on Instagram. They're like, I follow you. You've got this perfect life. You're amazing. And I'm like thinking, yes, I have a beautiful life and I'm extremely fortunate for what I have and where I am. And I'm so happy. But at the same time, it doesn't mean it's perfect. It doesn't mean I haven't gone through horrible moments in my life. It doesn't mean I haven't gone through trauma. I was 14 and my dad passed away, and it was really hard. It was
unexpected.
It was so unexpected. We were this beautiful family that was so happy, and my mom and dad loved each other. We did everything together. We traveled together. We did sports. We did well financially, and all of a sudden, there is this one moment, and everything changes, and all you see is dark for a really long time, and you don't know if you're gonna see light at the end of the tunnel. And so in those moments, I believe that you are given a choice, whether a moment like that is going to break you or it's going to make you. And I chose the second, and I've decided that I have to accept the truth. I have to close one chapter in order for the new chapter to begin. And that's what I did. And, it made me, it changed me, it made me the way I am. It forced me to grow up really fast. And I guess it was one of those significant moments in my life that made me the way I am today.
Wow. So you said you grew up really fast, and that's actually something I have noticed about you. You're only 30, and just the way you carry yourself, I feel, put aside what you've accomplished, put aside what you've built, put aside it's more how you carry yourself, how you speak. You are wise, you're much wiser than your years. And do you think that is definitely related to
it has
your
to
father
be, right?
passing?
Like, it was just such a hard time in my life, and I decided that I have to accept it. I have to, otherwise I'm just going to keep living in the past.
But what did that look like when you say, I had to accept it, and you move forward? Because I feel like some people would find that really hard to do.
Yeah, because I feel like people, a lot of the time, they just keep living in the past. They keep thinking about what if. That's irrelevant, like, that happened, and you can't change that. Like, I had to just accept the truth in order to live.
Rational
I
thinking.
can't keep living in the past. There is no past. There is only now. There is only present moment. There is not even a future. Future will eventually become now, but right now it's just the present moment.
Did you have to shut off your emotions in order to do that? Do you feel like you had to shut off something?
I was just so young, so it's a little bit difficult for me to go back into those emotions. But I struggled for so long, of course. Yeah. And I guess I repressed some of those emotions. And then later on, when I started practicing yoga, I released those emotions. And there were some sessions in yoga where I would cry when I did, hip openers, and these emotions would come out, and I let go. So for sure, there were some repressed emotions and trauma. That's just natural. That's what happens. But I believe I'm in a good place now. Yeah.
When you say hip openers, why hip openers? Why would that make you cry?
That's just one of those places in your body where we don't pay enough attention to, and we don't release that tension a lot. Like, you do forward
And you feel
folds,
trauma is stored there? Or
a lot, yeah,
okay.
A lot. A lot of the trauma gets stored there for many people. And so when you do hip openers in yoga, usually for many people, those poses are the most emotional ones, where people really let go and they feel a lot of things. Can be good things, bad things, but they just feel, and that's what we want, right? We want people to feel things, because sometimes, especially nowadays, sometimes people don't feel enough. I feel like they just, live through the life, having the comfortable, average life, but they don't get those deep feelings.
Feelings, I've realized over the past few years, because I think as well as many other people, it's easier to shut off feelings and
that's
emotions,
the easy way,
and not deal with them, and just move forward.
And keep it there for later.
I don't think you intend to keep it for later, but that's what happens.
Exactly.
It all blows up at some point.
It's somewhere. It doesn't just go away.
Yeah, whether it's in the form of an illness or in the form of a mental illness, or not even illness is a strong word, but it comes out in some way, whether it be mental or physical.
Yeah.
And like in yoga over the past, I would say, 3 years, because it's been 3 years now, I still struggle to do like back bends or
Yeah,
anything to
it's
do
uncomfortable.
with heart opening, right? Because isn't back bends to do with the heart?
Yeah, for sure.
I literally just try to go back an inch and I start getting dizzy. I start like tearing and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit down. You'll notice the next time I do one of your classes, I can't do it.
You don't do that.
I
Just
do.
go. You have to feel it. You have to
like
go
I'm
through
faint.
it. This is sometimes why people, a lot of the times you have people that are burnout at work. They're going through some bad relationships and they decided to go to Bali or somewhere else, to India, and do teacher training or do an intensive long yoga retreat, and they always come back or they stay and they decide this was the most significant or transformational trip they've ever done. And it's because people don't deal with the situation and the emotions in their normal life back at home.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time they go out, they get out of their comfort zone and they deal with that stress or trauma or whatever they're going through. This is the first time they actually spend time on
With
focusing on themselves
Yeah.
and releasing this trauma, And that's why it's so significant, because they forget. They don't do it.
It's not, I don't think it's intentional. I just think like the human instinct is to put aside the things that are harder. Like even in hypnotherapy, the amount of stuff stored in subconscious, you're not aware of it. You don't know what happened when you were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and what's in there. So dealing with it, whether it be through daily yoga or I believe going on I've never done it, but going on a retreat might be a good idea.
I think you need that.
You really?
I think you need that in
Shall
your
I go,
life.
but alone?
For sure.
Alone?
Or with me.
I think with you, I get
yoga
into such a
retreats.
fun and playful mode. I'll just be like,
True, but we still do lots of yoga.
Yeah, you do loads of yoga.
Yeah, there's still the mindfulness. You still go deep.
Okay, maybe. Let's see.
Next one.
I'm ready. Yeah, the next one. So you said.
So that was my first pivot.
Losing your father was definitely one of the bigger pivots in your life, obviously.
And there would be one more probably.
Okay.
And it was when I was 20 and I decided to move to Dubai. Mm-hmm. And, in that time, a lot of my friends and family, they really didn't encourage me to move. They said, why would you leave? You have such a beautiful life here and you're so comfortable. And I was like, I don't want to be comfortable. I want to get outside of my comfort zone.
But that's amazing.
And I want to experience things.
Yeah.
I want to risk things. I want to travel and chase that sparkle. I want to get out there because I know that I can always come back. I can always go home to my mom.
And you were saying people in Prague don't usually leave. Like
sometimes it's getting better now, but a lot of the people stay. Yes, a lot of people stay. So I went, and I think that was the best decision I've ever made for myself.
Why? Why was that such a good decision?
My life would be so different if I decided to stay in Prague. I mean, everything I have is thanks to Dubai. I met my husband, I opened my business, I have my 2 beautiful children. And I'm just forever grateful for everything that Dubai did to me. And it's just such an amazing place where I believe everything is possible and where you can make all your dreams come true. I really believe in that.
I love hearing that about Dubai because there was obviously a time where I think Dubai had this like cliche rep of, it's Dubai and it's so sparkly and it's so blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, if you actually...
It can be.
It can be, that's what I'm saying. But if you actually live here and give it a chance and you don't have to do Dubai in the Instagram way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It can be such a grounded, wonderful place, which it is for me, it is for you, it is for all of the close friends we have.
Every place in the world is at the end of the day about the people.
Yeah.
And about the community that you create and you join. And that's what I love about Dubai the most. The people that I am surrounded by. And what I love about it is how international it is and cosmopolitan. I've got all of my friends are from all around the world, different countries, different cultures, different traditions, and they just create such magic. These beautiful people that I met and I get to spend time with, and that's what I'm grateful for. That's what makes Dubai for me.
You actually forget that other countries don't have this diversity.
Exactly.
Like, we're so lucky with the diversity that we have here.
I don't think it's anywhere else in the world. Maybe London and New York, but Dubai is very special.
Yeah, it's so special. And I think for children, I mean, it might be a bit of a shock if you ever leave Dubai and then you go to somewhere like, I don't know, Australia and it's just You don't have that diversity, but I'm so grateful we're here for that reason. So, okay, we've tapped on your pivots.
Yes.
And Dubai and your dad passing were huge sort of monumental shifts in your life, or pivots in your life. And now you said that when you moved here, you met your husband here.
Yeah.
And because I know your husband and you, there is quite a large age gap.
There is, yeah. We've got a 16 years age gap,
Okay.
which is a lot. And, that is an issue for a lot of people. That's something that a lot of people will still judge. And the reason why that's happening is because society created this image of a perfect couple, of a perfect relationship.
What does that look like? What's that perfect image?
You've got a woman and you've got a man. They meet, they fall in love. He's about 5 years older. They date for 1 year. They get engaged. The year later, they get married. The year later, they've got 2 children, preferably a girl and a boy. They get a house.
So true, by the way.
Yeah, they get a house. They get a dog. They get a cat, even better. And they love each other unconditionally.
Yeah.
They're intimate about 3 times per week. And that is the perfect couple. And I'm going to break it through. That doesn't exist. There is not a perfect couple. There is not a perfect relationship because there is not a perfect love. No, love is imperfect. Love is tough. Love is complicated.
Do you believe love has no age?
I believe that love has so many different versions, and you have to choose the one that works for you. When I met Alan, I was 21, and he was 37, 38, and the truth is we fell in love. And it was this crazy, maddening love where, we traveled the world and we missed flights because we couldn't be apart. We wrote love letters. It was this beautiful love, but that doesn't mean it was perfect. No, we fought, and we have big age difference where, we were both at very different places in our life, different stages where he was ready to have children. I was definitely not ready to have children, and we are both very strong personalities, and we are both very dominant, and we've got so much fire inside us.
Both of you are fire.
And everything we do hard. We love hard, we fight hard, not gonna mention that one. Everything we do really hard. And so we had to decide whether this love that we have is worth fighting for, despite its imperfection. And we obviously decided that it is. And
isn't that any relationship, though? It's not necessarily the age.
Yeah, of course. As I said, no love is perfect, no relationship is perfect. And you have to always decide where it's worth it,
Okay, what if you were 16 years older and he was 16 years younger? How would that look?
And that's where the if starts, right? Why would we even discuss that when it's not the situation?
Well, I'm asking because I feel like it's more acceptable for the woman to be younger.
I mean, of course, but again, that's what the society says, right? It's just a stigma. It's just an image. It's something we were taught. It's how it should be. But everyone is different, and if it works for those people, and if it's worth that love and fighting for, then great. Ellen...
So back to the question. Does love have an age?
I think love is just love, and there's
so it's
no...
ageless. Love is ageless.
Sure. Yeah, I mean...
To a degree. To a degree.
Yeah, I mean, Alan is he's everything to me. He's my husband, he's my best friend, he's my lover, he's my mentor, he's everything to me, and I want to do life with him despite all these imperfections. And I want to share my good and my bad. I want to share my happiness, my sadness, my cries, my laughs, and I still choose him every single day. I stand by my decision, and
That's
I
so
believe...
sweet. That's so sweet. Give me a tissue. I don't have one. I don't need one. I'm just kidding. That's beautiful. Honestly, It's so nice to hear that. I don't feel people are really open about their feelings and expression of love anymore. It's just we've been married, we have kids. It's not dead, but it gets a little...
Can be.
It can, but again, what I appreciate about you, again, is you don't let that happen. It's very easy for that to happen.
Very
And
easy.
it's very common for that to
It's very
happen.
easy to get comfortable. It's very easy to get into
For
a
the
routine.
flame to dwindle, and for the
it's so easy.
For the I don't know, even friendship to fade, and for the boredom to kick in, and then it's very easy for that to happen. And you don't let that happen.
No, I refuse to let that happen. But again, based on my personal experience, because I had my 2 children, and I had them quite young, and I had a very bad postpartum, and it's something I didn't really talk about with anyone because none of my friends went through the same
I wish we were friends
feelings.
then. I was with you. I was totally with you.
Oh, it was hard. It was so hard, and no one prepares you for this. Like, being a mom is hard.
Yeah.
It is the most beautiful gift that you're given, and I'm so grateful, and I love my children unconditionally. They're everything to me. But it's hard, and I struggled for a long time, and I felt lost. I feel like I'm just a mom, and I kind of lost myself in the process.
Yeah.
I lost being this girl with the sparkle that I was before, always chasing dreams and drive. And so I was in a dark place, and 6 months after my second baby, we went on a holiday, and my friend Danny brought this book for me, for all of us to read. It Ends With Us, and I read it in 2 days, and I was like, wow.
It Ends With Us is not doing so well, the movie right now.
That's not doing so well, but let's not go to the movie. Let's stay with the book, because the book
was incredible. I love that book.
The book is great. And I was like, wow, this is what I need in my life. I always read books, but I read psychological books and deep books, educational books. I never read love romance with spice, and I was like, wow, I need this.
Why did you need this?
Because it reminded me who I was. And just the fact that you have 2 children doesn't mean you still can't have that part of yourself, that the part of you that you were before having children.
So would you say the book reminded you, it brought you back to it reminded you of who you were? So this book,
you can't go back to before children because it's always going to be different. But you still can go back to who you were and what you need. Your desires, to your, to your desires, your needs.
Fun.
To your dreams. Fun, creativity.
Playfulness.
All of this. All these things that you exchange for being comfortable, being lazy, and just being in your little routine and being the 4 of you. The fact that it's 4 of you doesn't mean it still can't be, or how many children you have, it still can't be just the 2 of you with your husband when there are no children. You can still have that sparkle with your husband.
And I don't think it's just about kids. Like, I feel this applies just to any...
With time,
anyone or any... Well, we're talking more about women in this specific moment, but I think women... how do I phrase this? I think women generally need to be given, in maybe book form, a bit of creativity.
Yeah.
And to kickstart.
You need inspiration, like in anything,
Inspiration and kickstart the imagination and allow it. I think it's very freeing, let me put it that way, to read books like that, like these romantic, love stories.
It had such a significant effect on such a significant impact on my well-being and the connection with myself and the sparkle and the connection with my husband. It's crazy. I read 150 books last year, and trust me, I don't have time.
150?
My whole day is planned to seconds. I don't have time. The only time I read is from 8:30 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. every night, unless I go out on a date night.
Or a girls' night.
Or a girls' night. And that's it. Instead of watching a movie every night, I read a book. And that made such a big change in my life, huge change. And so I decided to share that with others. Again, it started from my personal experience. It helped me so much. I wanted to share that with others. And so I started a book club. Well,
yes, getting to the Spicy Book Club. It's called the Spicy Book Club. So the Spicy Book Club is quite new.
Very new.
It's only a few weeks old.
Yes, so I'm just in the middle of my first one.
And the purpose of this book club is?
it's just for me to share. It just, as I said, like I want to
Help people.
Yeah, I want to help other women the same way these books helped me. And I've already, before this book club, I shared these books with some of my girlfriends, and it all, it changed their lives as well. So I was like, I want to share with more women and more. I want to change people's lives and women's lives. Well, actually men as well, their husbands for sure. And so I did it. I just went for it, and we are in the middle of the first one. I've got 15 beautiful women that are in the book club, and they love it. They all send me private messages thanking me for bringing such a topic that is still taboo into attention. And yeah, they're up for it. They love it.
I think in Middle Eastern culture, this is a bit wild to be talking about. Do you know what I mean? So bringing in...
But I think even everywhere.
You think?
Yeah.
I would say less so in Europe. I feel like this is a normal thing to discuss. Like in the Middle East, this is a non-topic. You don't discuss things like this ever.
Which is a shame, because we should.
Look, I think the fact that you're giving women a private space to a private safe space to allow them to just like maybe think of it for the first time or ask some questions or just get inspiration is really special.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible. And I see this growing. Like I really see this growing.
Yeah, the second edition is now open for bookings. I'm already getting some, and I'm so excited. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I'm all into it.
I forgot to ask you a question before we moved into the Spicy Book Club, but it's all linked to like sort of your journey. But what challenges do you think could you give us some challenges you faced as a result of that age gap that you have with Alan?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we were just a little bit in a different stages of our life where he was ready to kind of settle down and have children, and I wasn't. But we find a compromise, and he had to promise my mom that we will only have children when I'm 26 so that she can give him her blessing. And that's what we did. We had this beautiful period of 5 years of being just the two of us, which was very important for me.
I think you're really lucky that you had that, because I don't think a lot of
it was very important for me
get that.
And for us, just to be the two of us and realize whether this age gap and everything else is going to work before having children and creating another life. And so, but I guess that's kind of it, I feel quite mature for my age, as you said, and he is very young for his age, mentally
Alan?
and physically.
Oh my God, Alan's like a 22-year-old. Like his soul is so young, it's incredible.
Yeah, so I think it just, worked out really well.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I think something that I've realized about you over the time that we've spent together is that you're very drawn to people who are skilled in something specific. So whether it be very athletic people or people very specialized or skilled in culinary or something to do with cooking, or I feel like you gravitate towards people like that. Do you feel like there's a reason for that?
I never thought about it until you brought it to my attention. And when I started thinking about it, I think it all started with my grandfather, because he was a very wise man. He was professor at universities, and what he always said is that everyone in this world is born with a gift. And your task or your mission in life your goal in life is to find this gift and spend time, with this gift and maybe turning it into your profession or hobby or whatever.
Yeah.
And some people never find this gift, which is very sad, but that's just life. And so I am just so attracted to these people that have found this gift.
Yeah.
And it just fascinates me, Like, for example, Alan, my husband, he's obsessed about his passion is fishing. And it's, every night he's making his own flies, and he does so much research and watches videos, and he is just so passionate about it.
He's always in his man cave, like doing something with strings and hooks,
and it just brings him so much joy.
Yeah.
And for me to watch that, it's just so beautiful, you know, and I want to be around him. I want to be around this person that has this gift. Or let's say, you know, Dylan, yoga teacher, he's one of the best yoga teachers in the world, and he found his niche. He found something he's passionate about. He studied so bloody hard. He's so knowledgeable about what he does. I mean, his anatomy knowledge is just out of this world.
And Dylan's who you trained with?
Yeah, he's my like yoga mentor.
Okay.
And so I want to be around this person. Like, it fascinates me to see this person to do something that he's gifted with and he loves and he's passionate about, and it attracts me. Like, his energy attracts me. And the same with you and your hypnotherapy, or Layla and his nutrition. I love that about you. It's just so special.
I think our friend Shireen was saying there was this Harvard study that you are the 5 people you're around the most. Like, I just butchered that. Like, it's a Harvard study, but I completely butchered it. But basically, the people that you hang out with the most have such a huge impact on your life.
For sure.
And if you're seeing people like that, so driven, so intense and focused on such a specific thing, and you find that inspiring, like that goes into you.
100%.
That then becomes part of who you are, who you want to be. And I find that really important as well.
No, for sure. You need to be surrounded by people that are on the same energy, and just also people that you feel comfortable around with, you know? I'm like so done with trying to please everyone, which is impossible. You're never going to do that. So what's the point? Yeah. So just surround yourself with people that bring the best out of you and that make you feel better. And that's what I do.
And I think trust, because I think trust is a huge one for everybody. But I think women, like, you want to be able to trust the people that you're with, and trust that what you say and how you are, like,
you can be yourself.
You feel safe. Exactly. So you're 30.
Yes.
And I mean, do you feel you've learned something significant turning 30? Because it's a big... So between 29 and 31, there's something called Mercury, what is it called? No, Saturn return. And they usually say between 29 and 31, there's significant changes that happen, like big things happen in your life. Do you feel anything significant has happened turning 30, or there was a lesson there, or something came and slapped you in the face, or do you feel like it's been okay so far?
I feel like right now I'm in a really good place, the best place I've ever been, with myself and with my family. I feel very, you know, and just be genuinely happy and in a good place doesn't mean I don't have low moments, but I'm in the right place. And I just, as I said, like, I decided that I no longer let the ifs affect me. Like, what if? What if I did that? What if I did that? What if something happened in the past differently? Because I can't change that. I can't change what happened. And so
it's out of your control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what is the point of wasting your energy thinking about something that's in the past? And so my lesson for this year would be just to really enjoy the present, because that's the only time that matters and the only time that actually is.
And do you consider yourself a bit of a perfectionist?
For sure. A big one.
How do you handle that? Do you feel like you're gaining from being a perfectionist, or it's a burden?
I think, like anything, it's both. You know, it has its minuses and its pluses, I guess.
I think there's more pluses for you, because I think you hold on to behaviors when they serve you. So I think, looking at you, that perfectionist tendency has served you well. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I have a successful business thanks to that.
You think it's that?
I mean, I try to always do my maximum. I always put 100% in everything I do, because I do things I love and I believe in, and I want to give 100% to it.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectionist about it, you know? So that's what I did with Shimi's. I want everything to be as good as it can be, not perfect, but close to that. But at the same time, it can be really exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's hard. Like, I need to also accept the truth that sometimes you need to take a break. and just pause for a minute and accept that not everything is perfect. And then the flaws actually
Perfect
make
is
it
a
real.
made-up word. It's a word.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
when you
wanna
go
just
back to
keep it real.
language. Yeah, when you go back to language, it's just words. Like, it doesn't actually mean anything. I think what we actually believe is perfect is something called balance.
Yeah.
And I think the balance
Or
is
not
really hard to
even
get.
balance. I think there is a better word for it now, and that's the harmony. Because everyone needs to find their own harmony.
What does harmony feel like to you?
Just what works for you, you know, where you are in peace, where you feel good.
Harmony.
Yeah.
Hum.
I like that word.
I like that word
Yeah.
too. It's a really nice word. Okay, so would you, if you had to change anything?
That's irrelevant. I just said
I
that.
didn't even finish the question. I was like, if you had to change anything about your life so far, would you?
I don't want to think about it because I can't. What's the point?
Yeah.
Why would I waste?
So I think you're a very
my-
rational person. Like, let's not ask these silly, like, existential questions or hypothetical questions. Let's just focus on the
Yeah,
reality.
just
What is real? What can you do about it?
just what can you do about it? Just stop thinking about things, having them in your head, but just do them. You know, that's why I was like, these books changed my life. I love them so much. I'm gonna do a book club. I didn't even blink. I was just like, one day on a holiday, I'm doing it. And I started, and I believed in myself. I believe that I can do it. And because I love it so much and I put so much effort into it, it's gonna be successful.
So I think when you have a belief in something,
I go for it.
Because, yeah, you go for it, but it's also because you've experienced, okay, this worked for me, and now I want to share this with other people,
Yeah.
right? So it started off with psychology, then going into yoga. Yoga helped
Yeah.
me. I want to open this yoga
Yeah,
studio.
I don't like to share or talk about something I don't know enough about and I don't understand or I didn't do my research. I only want to share what I know worked for me and I know about. And that's what I did with this book club. I wouldn't just start a book club unless I knew that it works. You know, I'm an example, it worked.
I think that's really important in a world where people are just kind of talking a lot of beep on Instagram and, you know, all over the place.
Yeah.
I think people have lost their specialty in things and just think they're kind of a know-it-all in everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really important. I love that. Social media is my last point.
Okay.
Because we've had a discussion about this once where people can take a snapshot of your life on social media or anyone's life on social media, especially these influencers who are always looking gorgeous and shiny and, you know, decked out in fashion head to toe and traveling every 3 weeks and, you know, first class, business class. Like, okay, this is great, right? This is wonderful. Is it great for the people who don't have or cannot afford this lifestyle? So I'm just giving you a bit of context. Do you believe social media can be negative for
Of course. You know, I think it's a tricky one. I think social media can be good, but it can also be very, very bad.
Yeah.
And like, you know, my social media, it's about 1% of my life. And that's all I want to share with the people I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to share the days where I cry, and I do cry. Like, that's just part of life, you know, we all
you want
cry.
to share the positive things.
Yeah, I choose not to share other parts of my life because they're very private and I share them with a very few people. And some people choose to share more. And some of the people on social media, they choose to share sad moments. And that's great because that's what they want to do. That's their way how to present themselves. It's not what I want to share. That's my decision, my choice that I chose for myself. But it doesn't mean that's my life, you know. It's just a little part of my life, and people have to realize that. So when they watch these influencers, they have to realize that's not the perfect relationship. That's just a very small part of who they are, and they have to be careful because this can have a very bad effect on your mental health.
Yeah, I mean, comparison is the root of all evil, honestly.
Yeah. Like, just do you know, do what works for you. everyone's different.
Everyone is different. Everyone has very different backgrounds. And I just feel this is the complicated part about social media. And it's unfair. It's giving
You have to take it lightly.
You have to take it lightly because it can give a very unfair representation to kids, teenagers, people in their early 20s.
Like in my perfect world, children are not allowed social media until they're 18. That's it.
I think that just became a law somewhere. I think it was Australia.
I think it's 16. Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but I read that somewhere. But that's, I mean, to
maybe.
I'm not even going to go there with social media. I'm hoping it all just kind of dies before before the kids are able to even. But you know, my kid's 7 and he's talking about TikTok. 7.
That's crazy.
And
I don't even have TikTok.
I don't have TikTok, but
I do for books inspiration.
But I think for girls, it's even worse. Like for little girls. So that's for another podcast. But is there anything you'd like to share with the audience about what it takes to... I think it's about taking that step forward, because I think a lot of people
are stuck.
And you
scared.
are the example of how to not be stuck. You're a doer and you're a goer and you go for it. And you do it with belief in what you're doing. And I find that a really important note.
Yeah, because the people why they are stuck is usually because they don't believe in themselves enough. Like, come on, like get some courage. Like if you know about a topic or your passion or your gift enough and you love it so much, get some courage.
But what if they don't know? What if they don't know about this
do
gift?
the research, do the studies, like read.
Figure it out.
Yeah, like just get out there and experience things. Don't be shy and don't be comfortable. No, get out of your comfort zone. Just get out in the world. So
get out your comfort zone, get out of your routine.
Yeah. And if you don't know what your gift is, if you don't know what your passion is, just try new things every single day.
I agree with you, because I think it's about doing things that scare you. So I had a phase where traveling and flying would scare me. It really scared me when I had kids. So I threw myself into it with a lot of push from other people as well, including you. Yeah. But I threw myself into it, and now I'm like, okay, I'm free. I don't feel tied down.
And you feel such a relief, right?
You feel light. I don't feel tied down by the fear. My experiences have gone from 5% to like 90% in terms of everything. My joy is also like exponentially increased. So it's about, I think, doing things
and holding on to things. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Life is too bloody short. Live every day like it's your first. Like you want to experience things. You want to try everything. You know, like when kids, they have this desire to do everything.
Yeah.
That's how you should be. Just get out there and feel things and enjoy the ride.
On that note, I think that was a perfect way to end this podcast. That was amazing. Simona Stanton, welcome to Pivot.
Thank you.
It was so incredible to have you.
Thanks for having me, yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is how we end them always.
Yes.
Love you.
Love you.